What up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a review of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 7, Episode 18. So if you haven't seen the 18th episode of Season 7 of Tyler Perry's Sistas, turn this video off. Go watch the episode, come back and watch this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. It's a simple and free way to support. I can't stress that enough. I am not a public speaker. I will tend to fumble my words. You'll hear me say, so, like 1,000 times. I may stop to regain my thoughts. I may slow my speaking down to regain my thoughts. I'm going to definitely be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. Anything I say, it's my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. Comment below what you would grade this week's episode, what you thought of this week's episode. If I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. Because of Andy's stupidness of this episode, I want to give it a low grade, but it wasn't a bad episode. So I'm going to give it a B-, but I really want to give it a C+ because of Angie's stupid ass, but I'm going to do B-. Last Chance, Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 7, Episode 18. If you haven't seen it, turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. Whew. So, the episode begins with Andy, right after Andy had this confrontation with Gary. She walks into her office and closes the door and breaks down. And then Penelope calls her. And she's like, excuse me, burping. She calls Andy and she's like, I can't wait till we take Gary down so I can get back to my life. Like, basically, she's tired of being stuffed in the hotel room. Then we cut away to the bank. Maurice is getting into it with another coworker. Like, it's just so annoying right now. Why is Maurice always getting into it with somebody at the bank? Like, he would have been fired by now. Like, his character is so, like, ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, it's just annoying to just see him doing the same shit every episode. He was getting into it with the last girl at the bank. Now this other nigga. Like, it's just, okay. We get it. He's just so extra. It's like unbelievable sometimes. So Maurice getting into it with yet another coworker. And Sabrina walks over trying to defuse it. And then, you know, Maurice is telling telling Sabrina that Grayson won't talk to him. And then some dude walks in. And then they cut away to the salon where Mama Lisa's calling Karen to make sure that she still want her to come get her for a doctor's appointment. And this is when Karen's talking to Mama Lisa about Pam running up her business card, business account, whatever. And Mama Lisa's telling Karen, like, you might hold some resentment towards Pam. And I feel like you may be entitled to a cut because she did everything out of your shop, basically. And I'm like, hell yeah, you entitled to a cut. And I'm like, why haven't you talked to her about the fucking account being empty and shit? And why haven't you told her about Trey yet? That's another thing I don't like about the show. They be holding shit in. Angie, this whole episode ain't tell nobody about her confrontation with Gary. Before we found Penelope, she didn't tell nobody about the blood stain on Gary's office wall. It's like they be keeping shit out. Shit that might be interesting. So we cut away back to the bank, and this guy, his name is Damani something. And he's the bank's corporate communication. He's from the bank's corporate communications department. And he's asking to interview Sabrina about her promotion. He wants to do an article on her in the bank. And Sabrina's like, oh, I don't really think that's necessary. And then Damani start landing on thick. You know, he like, first black woman, da-da-da-da. He's like, me and my bosses were impressed with you and your story. You were a survivor and all that other shit. And then he's like, and imagine how many black females would be looking up to you. And that's what got Sabrina. She's like, oh, you laying it on thick. So she's like, we can step in my office for the interview. And he's like, nah, I want to take you to dinner. I'm just like, come on. So I guess we not getting Calvin back. I guess we about to introduce this new nigga. I mean, not that I'm tripping off them not bringing Calvin back. It is what it is. So let me get this wild ass scene. Tony's baby mother, Tiffany, she shows up at Danny's place, pulls out this vape pen saying that her daughter got it from her house. And I'm just like, how much shit did this little girl steal? And y'all keep coming at Danny. Every week is something else she done took from this damn girl house. I'm I'm like, this little girl's a little thief. Like, what the fuck? So she like, yeah, it shows you weren't paying attention when my kids were in your home. You're not a good influence on my kids. I'm just like, I don't know how many times I got to express this, but Tony asked Danny while she was at work if she could watch his kids later. When she got off from work and got home, those kids and Tony was already in her place. When would she have had time to put anything away before these kids got there? I just want to know. So Danny says to Tiffany, she's like, man, cut the shit. I know you just trying to break me and Tony up, but it's not going to happen. That's my man, and it ain't happening. So Tiffany's like, well, you know, I had his heart for 11 years, saying this whole bunch of shit. And she's like, you know, he loved his kids to death, so all I got to do is make him realize that you ain't the right fit. You a bad influence on the kids, and he going to kick you to the curb. And Danny's like, well, you do that, babes. Let the bitch bump her and all that. She was like, you got one time to do that. Okay. We cut away to Fatima coming into Andy's office and immediately noticing something wrong with Andy. Then we get Tamira coming to Gary's office. And Gary's like, if you think you can blackmail me over that sorry-ass video, you must be dumber than you look. And Tamira's like, well, if you want to avoid the FBI seeing this video of you being rough with another female, you better send me $250K. So Gary, he started laughing. He's like, I'm not giving you a damn thing. Tamira tries to attack him. He grabs her. They start kissing. He's like, see, I can have that regularly box whenever I want. And kicks Tamira out of his office. Karen calls Zach, asks him if he wants to come to her first checkup. Zach says, of course, sure. And Karen's like, well, you know what? You can invite Fatima too if you like. And Zach like, for real? Thank you, Karen. So he's happy about that. So we cut away to Danny filling Tony in on the conversation she had with Tiffany. And she's like, you need to get that thieving ass daughter. And I'm like, exactly. Like, y'all getting on her for all this shit, but not getting on the daughter for stealing, like, not one thing, but two things out the damn place. That's a little klepto starting. That's how kleptomism begins. Is that the word? I don't know. So Tony's like, well, Tiffany was wrong for the way she came at you. But then he goes on about how Danny can't be leaving stuff out in her place. And it's like, the shit is blowing me because I'm not about to keep repeating myself. It sounds like a broken record. But the bitch, when would she have had time to do that? I just want to know. This shit is aggy as fuck at this point. They keep talking about my kids this and my kids that. She never had time to get home and prep her damn house. And even so, why the fuck is your daughter stealing shit? So Danny starts to going off on Tony. He's like, yeah, I feel like you taking her side, da-da-da. He's like, y'all need not to be, she's like, y'all need not to be blaming me so much and blame y'all fucking klepto-ass daughter. She don't say that, but you know. And then she storms out of Tony's office. And then we cut away back to Andy's office, and she's about to tell Fatima about Gary. But then Zach calls Fatima, telling her that Karen invited them both to the checkup. And then Fatima tells Zach, like, oh, I'm swamped at work. I can't go. Tells him he can go alone. And then Zach's like, well, I need somebody to babysit Michael. Which is weird, because I'm like, why couldn't he have taken Michael with him? But okay. And Fatima's like, I don't care. Pick anybody. And then they end the call, and then Andy's about to tell Fatima again, and then this receptionist peeks in and is like, Miss Marie is here. So then Fatima goes to greet Miss Marie. So we cut away back to the salon. Danny pops up, asking to speak to Karen. They go in her office, and, you know, Danny's like, man, I'm sick and tired of this little friendship we got going on. She's like, it seems like I can't get nothing right. And I'm always failing or something like that. And Karen's like, that part's not true. So Karen's just like, well, you know, I feel betrayed by my best friend who's always taking everybody's side but mine. And then, she brings up Danny telling Zach to get the DNA test, and how she told the girls about the 2 baby daddies before Karen had a chance to, and her being buddy-buddy with his him, all that stuff. So Danny's like, well, I may have been a little petty. She says, but I hold some resentment towards you because you always belittling, degrading, demeaning me like I'm just like it's like I should be so lucky that y'all are my friends type shit. So Karen's like, you know what? Maybe I was being petty too. So Danny's like, I might smile and joke through everything, but it really hurts. I thought this scene was kind of real. So then Danny starts telling Karen about what she's going through with Tony. She's like, it makes her clearly see now what Karen was feeling like, because if they went and hung out with Tiffany, she would feel away. Like if Karen, Andy, and Sabrina went to hang out with Tiffany, she would feel away. So she's like, I definitely feel where you was coming from now, Karen. So they kind of come to some common ground. Danny apologizes, Karen apologizes as well, and they hug it out. I ain't gonna hold you, I thought it was done for them too. That scene was okay, it wasn't bad. One of the reasons why I kind of gave it a B-. So we cut away to Zach, and he's calling around trying to find somebody to watch baby Michael. And next thing you know, the neighbor/tenant Deja comes in with her rent money, and she's like, tell Fatima I'm sorry this is late, da-da-da. And Zach's like, well, how about this? How would you like to not worry about late fees no more for the rest of your lease? So Deja's like, what's the catch? And he's like, no catch, I just want you to watch baby Michael for a little while. And I'm like, dude, this bitch even got kids? This bitch is a stripper. Does she know how to watch kids? I don't know. I thought that was random, though. He couldn't think of nobody else. So Hayden and Andy, they're standing with Marie. I don't know why they're not sitting down in the conference room or in the office or anything. They're just standing in the lobby all randomly. I don't know. So Hayden is ensuring to Marie that he can prove that her husband has been unfaithful. She's like, that'll make me be able to force him out of the marriage with everything he came in with. She was like, a big dick and something else. And I was like, well, we know Hayden ain't got that shit, because Fatima done emphasized that a couple times. And Tamira, for that matter. So then Pam pops up out the blue, and she starts distributing, like, samples for her product, like Trey told her to do. And then she notices Marie, and she begins, like, fangirling over Marie. She's like, girl, you are my shero. And Marie eating the shit up. She's like, I like her. So then they walk off together. And then Andy's like, why would you tell Marie that we can get her husband? Like, if your PI can't deliver 100% proof that her husband is cheating, then you just overpromise something to our biggest client. And Hayden's just like, bitch, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. It's going to be me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done, da-da-da. You know, just talking his shit. Right after Hayden walks away, Andy gets a text from Gary saying clock's ticking. Then we cut away to Aaron, Zach, and Mama Lisa. They're all with Karen while she gets her ultrasound. Then we cut away to Fatima getting home to find Deja there and Zach gone. And, you know, Deja's like, well, you know, Zach, he asked me to watch the baby. And Fatima's like, all right, well, I'm here now. And kicks the damn girl out. The baby wasn't in no harm or nothing when you got there, so I don't feel like the way she did Deja when she got there, that was extra. Because at the end of the day, she watched this little boy and ain't no harm come to him. So you didn't have to do so much to kick her out and all that. I get saying, okay, I'm here now, so you can dip. But the way she was like, all right, you can go now. Pushed her out the door. After she just did y'all ass a favor. So then Zach gets home a little later and Fatima, like, chokes him up. We know that shit ain't real. In real life, that shit wouldn't, you know. Chokes Zach up for having Deja in the house watching Michael. And then she's like, you know, where Michael is now, he's in the back with Angela. Or I think he went to get ice cream with Angela. And then Zach's like, damn, I didn't even think of Angela. But it's like, Fatima, you didn't either, bitch. You were so geeked to get off the phone. You could have suggested Angela. But you was like, pick anybody or something, she said. I don't care who you pick. So we cut away to Damani and Sabrina. They're at this dinner/interview. And Sabrina brings up her arrest, and Damani turns the recorder off. And Sabrina then realizes that the corporate, they don't want that story about her being falsely imprisoned and all that. They don't want that story in their article. So Sabrina immediately realizes that, and she's like, "Fuck that! Oh, now I know what type of shit y'all on. Y'all don't want that in the article." So then Damani is like, "You single, married, kids?" And she's like, I'm seeing someone. She's like, "No kids yet." And then he just randomly, so when he asks her, like, "Do you have kids?" He randomly talks about something. Because, you know me, I want a big family. I'm like, okay. So that was their way of throwing that in there, that that's just going to be the next nigga she talks to, or just going to be her donor, or whatever the fuck the case may be. Because why would he just randomly throw that in there? I want a family of my own. What does this have to do with you, sir? This is the interview with me. Why do I need to know that you want a big family? That's how I be saying. This shit is annoying. I don't know if I said this in any of my... I think I did say this in my reviews before, but I only watch Sistas, Ruthless, The Oval, and Zatima. Once them shows go off for good, I'm done. Because Tyler Perry, his shit just keep being the same. And every time he come out with something, I be like, all right, I'm going to give it a chance because people be saying it's so good and all that. Then I watch the shit and it be the same old bullshit. So I'm not about to keep doing it. I don't care what the next shit come out. I don't give a fuck if that shit got 100% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not watching this shit. I don't give a fuck. Like, he got a new movie out now with Megan. I'm not watching that shit because the movie with Kelly Rowland wasn't nothing. I mean, I love Kelly Rowland and that fine-ass nigga that was in the movie, but that shit was trash, too. Y'all pulled Jordan out of Sistas for that? Y'all pulled the original Jordan out of Sistas for that movie? So Damani's like, you know, you got kids? I want me a big family. This is what Sabrina shares, that she's in the process of freezing her eggs. And I'm just like, what the fuck this got to do with her promotion and all? I'm just like... So then Rich pops up out of nowhere. He comes in. He gets hella defensive. He like, you told me on the phone that you couldn't come over or something because you had a business obligation. So then Sabrina's like, well, this is Damani. He's from the corporate office. He's interviewing me about my promotion. And then Damani's like, you must be the boyfriend she was just telling me about. And then Rich feels like a complete asshole. He's like, you know what? I'm sorry, my brother. Then he shakes Damani's hand. So then Damani's like, well, so Sabrina tells me that you guys are working on having a baby. So then Rich, he's like, he put his head down, and Sabrina's like, well, I'm actually doing the IVF situation solo. Rich actually doesn't want kids. And it was just hella awkward. Damani was like, oh, I didn't want to misquote. And I'm like I said, I'm not about to keep trying to beat this shit into Sabrina and Rich and her friends too. Like, bitch, you want babies, he don't. What the fuck is the point of y'all together? I'm not going to keep saying that shit. Like, everybody sees it except for y'all stupid asses. What's going to happen when you have this baby? It's just so annoying. So we get to this final scene where Andy stops by Jordan's to break it off with him. And she's like, you know, with all that's going on with you and your sister, with Gary, it's all my fault. I need to end things before it gets too deep. And I'm just like, this bitch so dumb. It's just so dumb. And Jordan's like, I know I was tripping about Penelope, but I love you. Don't do this. Da, da, da. And he's like, I have to. It has to end. She crying and she leaves. And I'm just like, and that's how the episode ends. This bitch is just so dumb. I'm going to still give it a B- because it was an okay episode. Thoughts? Andy is a dumb bird. Why the fuck is she a lawyer? I don't understand it. All these options, she could have went into witness protection and told the FBI what Gary had. She could have went to Fatima and been like, get your cousin on this nigga. So many options rather than listening to what the fuck this nigga said. I just can't believe it. She just so damn dumb. Like, I just don't get it. Like you told him, like you was trying to tell him when he first confronted you, you and Jordan have been through that first scandal. Y'all can get through another scandal. I'm just like, why do you give this nigga so much power? Like I said in my last review, she melts when it comes to Gary. I'm just like, what the fuck? We see in the next episode, she brings Gary to Karen's baby shower, like they back together, and everybody's looking like, what the fuck? You know? Like, where's Jordan? This shit just weird. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping she got some type of plan that we don't know about. But that shit's weird, bro. It's just weird. Even we even get this scene with Karen and Fatima are like, you think you know what's going on with Andy? That's how you know this bitch making dumb moves. But anyway, those are my thoughts, what have yous, for the next episode or just episode, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I graded it a B minus. Thanks for watching this review, and comment below what you would grade it, what you thought of this week's episode. If I forgot anything or if I was off on anything particular, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, because I don't only review Sistas, I review other shows as well, and it's an easy and free way to support my channel. I can't stress it enough. So please like, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you like, and that way you won't miss out on anything that I post. Again, thanks for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.